There are 1.3 million Syrian refugees in Lebanon, and the numbers are growing every day.
The World Food Program and UNHCR call it the most complex and challenging refugee situation that they have ever had to deal with.
Syrian refugees gather in food distribution centers like this mosque in Beirut to get vouchers for food aid.
I work as a field officer with the food security project with Premier Urgence. We're giving Syrian refugees food vouchers.
And how many people are here today?
Like 700. But in different areas will be a lot more people. Sometimes 2,000-3,000 people one time came. And it's a big amount of refugees. So I don't think it's so easy you can cover all the refugees in Lebanon.
Many of the Syrian refugees lining up for food vouchers were afraid to speak to us. They fear reprisals from both the Lebanese government and Syrian government operatives in Lebanon.
But a few did speak, concerned more about the dire situation they are facing in Lebanon.
هربنا من الحرب اجينا لاستغلال هون يعني ما حرب نفسي ومعنوي ما فينا
مطرود هلا ممنوع فوت على سوريا انا ممنوع انا ارهابي في نظر الدولة السورية هاي مش شبه التعليق اللي صار فيني تعذيب قصي كهرباء
هلا انت عم تاخذ اجار البيت بدك تدفع $400 اوكي بدك تروح تشتغل عند واحد وبخليك تشتغل عنده بيقوم بياخذ الاجار ما بيعطيك اياه انت بدك تروح تدفع اجار البيت هذاك بده اجر البيت ما بيعرف.
الامم المتحده قاطعه كرت لكل شخص ما يقارب $27. اي شخص في العالم بيصرف $27 بالشهر. انا امبارح حفاضات بس حفاضات وكيسين حليب انا عندي توم. امبارح كل شهر انا كل شهر بدي بس حليب نيدو $40.
At a local shop where refugees can spend their food vouchers, Laura Chadrawi of the World Food Program talked about impending budget cuts.
The money crisis is already here. It's already here now. We are facing a very big funding crisis at the moment. In Lebanon alone, we are 93% underfunded. Soon enough, we will have to make the difficult decision of starting to prioritize only those most vulnerable among them.
For most refugees, $27 is only enough to buy food for a few days. Prioritizing means that up to a third of the rapidly growing refugee population will get no food support at all.
At a refugee registration center in Beirut, we spoke with a resident representative for UNHCR in Lebanon, Nanette Kelly, who sees an impending crisis beyond what the UN or Lebanon can support.
Refugees are causing strains on local infrastructure, which was weak to begin with. But we have schools that are accommodating refugee children, but now some of them have way more refugee children and they're falling apart. We have a healthcare system that's totally stretched, very weak water and sanitation infrastructure that is pressed to the maximum. So if we don't get more support to help Lebanon help refugees, this country could collapse in a very serious and dramatic fashion.
The Lebanese government does not want to set up refugee camps for Syrians fleeing the fighting, in part because of its long and troubled history with Palestinian refugees over the last 60 years. This has forced Syrians to settle into Lebanese towns and cities and is causing a housing crisis.
In Beirut, it is clear how high tensions are running. When we stopped to film a Syrian woman begging on the street, a Lebanese man passing by interrupted us and expressed his anger at refugees like her.
هلا الاجنبي ولا الميري شو بدك الشعب اللبناني هو اللي عم يشحد هو اللي عم يستضيف البلد ما بقى تحمل.
For those who are lucky enough to find housing, the situation is not much better. Ahmed, one of the refugees we met at the food distribution center, took us to see where he's living. One room for more than 8 people beneath an apartment building stairwell. He considers himself lucky.
8 persons.
In one room?
In one room. In one room and المطبخ يعني كمان احنا عايشين مطبخ مش روم. مطبخ مانك شام ريحة الطبخ. This open. تعال نام يا عبودي نشوف فيه. نام. This is sleeping. The still is here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Again, this one. I'm as here. I am is here. Sleeping. لكن فوق ال $500 ما عندنا مدخول ولا غير $300. شو بنعمل؟ عرفت علي كيف؟ يعني أنا هون كتير مليح بالنسبة لغيري.
Because Ahmed has a job, he has been told by the World Food Program that he is no longer eligible to receive food aid this fall. But Ahmed's biggest concern is not food or housing, it's security. After fleeing to Lebanon, Ahmed participated in anti-war protests in Beirut, where a local news channel filmed him.
أنا طلعت بالمظاهرات لأنه أنا كتبت كلمة حرية طلعنا عم تعمل معي لقاء بالمظاهرة قلت لها نحن بس بدنا يوقفوا القتال صناديق الاقتراع خلينا ننزل عليهم.
Ahmed fears that his participation in protests will bring reprisals from the Syrian government.
I'm dead already. Already I'm dead. صار في تهديدات من هون وعلقنا مشكل ضربوا لي ابني يا ولد. This ضرب لي اياها بموت شيك. This message for me shut your mouth. اللي قطعت من سوريا اجيت لهون كنت خايف اني اخاف بلبنان يصير قدامي البحر ووراي القتل.